But in the 800, no one is in the lead. All soldiers as a collective are presented in almost a blur. The film will show you a seemingly important officer only for him to never show up again. It is designed to be watched without you remembering the names or recognizing the faces. One moment, you could be watching two young soldiers sharing a cake. The next moment, you'll be seeing a group of deserters trying to run away. By the time you come back to the young soldiers, it's already 20 minutes later. Even if you remember who they are, it hardly matters. One of them is immediately shot dead in combat. His character arc is abruptly cut short. Such is the reality of war. It is both its greatest weakness and strength. The film is often criticized for having weak characterizations, which is a fair assessment. It is hard to latch onto any single character. But I think it is an intentional choice. Instead of this character wants to run away, it can be read as there are people who try to run away. It feels like reading a historical document. It doesn't feel immersive, it doesn't feel personal, but it feels real. The anonymity is used similarly in Dunkirk, but the 800 dialed it up to 11. It's a bold artistic choice that I think paid off. Through anonymity, the film specifically avoids painting a single hero. The arc isn't about any single character, but the squad coming together, slowly and somewhat depressingly accepts the reality of this suicide mission. History isn't made by the action of a single man. It was paved by the decisions of countless people. War films always have to walk a fine line between anti-war and jingoism. It has to entertain an audience through war without glorifying its brutality. It has to show admirations for the heroes without coming off as propaganda for the state. On this, the 800 is surprisingly well done. It's rare to see a war film that spends time showing the shock of killing people, as fleeting as those moments may be. But it's enough to implant the idea that war is not something anyone should go through. In this scene, the troops were ordered to execute captured Japanese soldiers. In such a close distance, most could not bring themselves to do it. And the one who forces himself to pull the trigger did so not through anger, but through madness. War is dehumanizing. Unlike the old black and white good versus evil war films, the 800 shows no hatred towards the Japanese army. It is utterly uninterested in animosity. If there's something this movie hates, it's war itself. In this scene, the Japanese army is about to blow up the building. Guarded by shields, bullets does not work against them. Cornered and desperate, some Chinese soldiers begin to retaliate by strapping bombs onto their bodies and jump off the building. Some may see this as glorification, as jingoism, as propaganda. But when I see these soldiers' eyes, all I see is a man driven into madness by war. The music didn't swell up, the people didn't celebrate. The soldiers line up, one by one, they jump to their death. It is extremely hard to watch. I almost cried when I saw this. Not because I was inspired, but more so because I was shocked, scared. I was witnessing something traumatic, and my emotion couldn't handle it. In this film, war is nothing but suffering.